State lawmakers are closing in on a final bill to regulate Colorado's medical marijuana dispensaries. You're watching CBS 4 News at 5. Hello, I'm Tom Mustin.
And I'm Kathy Walsh. The bill is a major piece of legislation. Lawmakers hope to pass it before the session ends in a couple of days. CBS 4's political specialist Terry Jessup is live at the state capitol tonight with a progress report. Terry?
Kathy, when this debate began, there were so many issues about medical marijuana dispensaries. For some lawmakers, it was like grabbing smoke. Their goal, of course, to balance the issues of legitimate caretakers, caregivers, patients, with that of law enforcement, who had concerns that this whole dispensary business was getting way out of control. Well, now they've got 3 days left to come up with a bill that the governor will sign.
What has resulted in this is a very delicate conversation.
State Senator Chris Romer believes his medical marijuana bill lawmakers are poised to pass will put about half of the state's 600 existing dispensaries out of business.
For two reasons. One, because they either have a felony conviction, or two, they can't prove where their investment and cash came from.
The bill also requires existing dispensaries to grow 70% of their supply so law enforcement knows where the drug's coming from. Medical marijuana advocates are not happy about that.
There's a lot of strains out there, and a lot of them provide different relief for different conditions. And if you have essentially one dispensary growing all its own medicine, you know, it's really not going to provide the variety patients need.
The state Senate also voted to keep the locations of pot growing operations off limits to the public to help protect growers from being burglarized. Only law enforcement would have access to that information.
I think it's just a common sense move to not have that be a public document. You know, marijuana is a valuable commodity, and I don't think it's smart to just put it out there for any potential thieves to know about.
But Colorado's Attorney General says people have a right to know if there's a pot growing operation in their neighborhood. Senator Romer says no worries.
But the issue is that your city council has the right to make sure it's never grown for commercial purposes in residential or commercial areas. If I were on a city council, or if I were mayor, the only place in my town you'd be able to grow it is in industrial warehouses. So that's the way to control this.
The House will take up the remaining issues when it reconsiders the Senate bill later this week. Romer believes they'll end up with overdue regulations on a budding business few envisioned when voters approved medical marijuana 10 years ago.
I think that the House will concur with this bill. I think the governor will then sign it.
And they have to have something ready to send to the governor by Wednesday when the session wraps up if they want to get this done. Medical marijuana advocates say if lawmakers can't craft a bill to protect their interest, they will consider going to a statewide ballot to legalize marijuana altogether. California has such a ballot pending this November. We're live at the Capitol. Terry Jessup, CBS 4 News.
All right, Terry, thank you. And lawmakers have a busy few days ahead of them. They'll be considering a bill to tie teacher tenure more closely to student academic performance. They'll also debate a controversial bill involving the maps that determine congressional districts.
The pilot